Hello Internet, I am the hero of Julios, once again with another episode of the One Piece Monster Manual. In our last episode, we spoke about the Emperor of the Sea, Big Mom, and her many abilities and strengths that she has. In this episode, we're going to be continuing from the previous one and talking about the result of her devil fruit. You see, Big Mom ate a devil fruit called the Soul Fruit, which gives her the power to manipulate the souls of those around her, including herself. When she takes the soul of a person or just a fragment, she doesn't have to take the whole thing. She can take that fragment and place it in an inanimate object. So, for example, this PS4 controller. When she does that, the item achieves its own sentience. It also has the ability to talk and move and think. It also has the ability to disobey her, should it choose to, but I gave it a DC saving throw that it has to beat because it's supposed to be really hard for the homies to disobey Mama. Now, if it doesn't have intelligence, so for example, this controller has no intelligence of its own, it will attain an intelligence of 10. If the intelligence of the creature is higher than that, because the souls can be placed inside of animals, the intelligence will stay whatever the animal had if it was more than 10. I didn't put a movement down because that's going to be different depending on the piece of furniture. Like, for example, this controller might have a movement of 10 feet because it's kind of lightweight, but a door is stuck to the wall. It's going to have a movement speed of 0. Rabbits are going to have a movement speed of like 60. So, because of that, I decided to leave that one up more to the DM interpretation. I also decided that homies gain the performance skill because, as we saw in Totland, homies love to sing. They love to sing, they love to dance, just like the mama that made them. Because of this, I gave them the performance skill. Now, above those homies exist 3 bigger, better homies. I am, of course, talking about Prometheus the Sun, Zeus the Thundercloud, and I almost said Neapolitan, Napoleon the Hat. So I'm going to start with Napoleon because I consider him the weakest of the 3, because despite the fact that Napoleon does show the ability to move on his own, he spends most of his time with Mama. We've seen that Zeus and Prometheus have their own ability to float around, make their own decisions. Even Zeus, who, was willing to just flat out betray Mama over some food. Because of this, I decided to give Napoleon a very slow movement speed, and he really only has one action. He can make a great sword swing. However, where he gets his big power up is because he is Mama's sword. When Big Mom goes to make a swing with her attack and she successfully hits, Napoleon can use his reaction to double that damage flat out. And that's pretty much it for Napoleon, but I just wanted to get him out of the way first. Now, obviously, if I learn more about Napoleon, I may change this, I may update it later. If this gets enough views, I would be perfectly happy with changing anything that I've put in here so far. But it's, it is what it is. Next, I'll be talking about Prometheus the Sun. See, Prometheus is a giant ball of fire, and he seems to be the most aggressive of Mama's 3 homies. Because of this, I decided to give him a higher strength stat than Zeus, but I also decided to give him a lower charisma and a lower dexterity. See, Prometheus is more about landing a solid, huge hit, and to reflect that, I gave him spellcasting abilities. He can cast Burning Hands at will, he can cast Hellish Rebuke if you got lucky enough to hit him. He can even cast Firestorm, but he can only do that once per day. I also gave him 3 fireballs a day because what would be a giant climactic boss battle if you couldn't launch fireballs at your players constantly? Now, unlike the other 2 homies, I actually gave him a vulnerability. See, he's weak to cold because as we saw with Jinbei throwing water at him, he is just a ball of fire. I would have given him a weakness to water, but water is not an elemental damage in One Piece, so I figured cold would suffice. Finally, when Big Mom goes for an attack with her sword, Prometheus can use his reaction to cast Burning Hands, using Mama as the base of the attack. So you don't have to worry about Prometheus accidentally burning Big Mom when he goes to attack with Burning Hands. I also mentioned this because I also said when she makes an attack, she doesn't actually have to land this hit like I said with Napoleon. There's a similar ability to this with Zeus, but I will get to that in a moment. Finally, on his own, I gave him a tackle attack, which just deals a bit of fire damage. He's really supposed to be supporting Mom more than he is supposed to be doing his own thing. And finally, we'll be talking about my favorite homie, Zeus. So, I really like Zeus, mostly because of the comedic potential he has right now. Currently, we're still in the Wano arc, and at this moment, we're not really sure what's going to be Zeus's fate at the end of Wano. Is he going to go back to Mama permanently? Is he going to stay with Nami permanently? Because of this, I really didn't do any abilities that pertain to Nami. I will go back and update Zeus if the Wano arc does end this way. But for now, Zeus has the highest charisma of Mama's three homies because he is just so darn cute and lovable, and he's just a really nice guy. I also gave him a very high dexterity because, as we saw, when Big Mom is riding on Prometheus, he moves slower than Zeus does when Big Mom is riding on him. I should also mention that Zeus and Prometheus are able to grow and shrink between the large category all the way up to my homebrew category, Colossal, which is a 5x5 square. Not to be confused with my homebrew size Titanic, which is a 6x6. Now take note that only Big Mom can ride on Zeus and Prometheus because they're made of her soul. But it's worth mentioning about their size in case of attacks from melee range. On the note of melee range, I gave Zeus the ability to cast Shocking Grasp and Witch Bolt as at-will spells. He's also able to cast 2 Call Lightnings a day and 1 Chain Lightning a day. These are, again, to be used to support Mama. Finally, when Big Mom, goes for an attack with her greatsword, with Napoleon, Zeus can come crashing down with a Shocking Grasp of his own, using Mama as the base of the attack. Because of these three put together, Big Mom can deal serious amounts of damage in a single turn by using their reactions, which are basically just free extra attacks for her on her turn. Combining these guys with Big Mom creates this almost impossible final task for your players. Because of this, I kind of power scaled Big Mom back a little bit to what I wanted to put her at, because I felt this would balance her equally with tomorrow's topic. So I think you can figure out who I'm talking about, but the whole inspiration to do all these monsters was because I was really interested in what a dragon of this caliber would do in the world of One Piece. Going back to what I was saying, though, the homies are great to have on their own. The Seducing Woods is a great way to get your characters and players spun around, get them confused, weaken them before the final fight. Big Mom is a great boss battle with 3 huge homies that your players can choose to either take them out first or ignore them and go straight for Big Mom herself. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.